Section 1. Dogs don't see in black and white, they see blue and yellow. You might be surprised to learn that a dog's world isn't just made up of shades of gray. For many years, we believed that dogs could only see in black and white, but modern science has proven otherwise. In reality, dogs can see color, just not in the same way humans do. Dogs' eyes have only two types of color-detecting cells, cones. So they can only distinguish between shades of blue and yellow. That's why your dog's favorite red toy might become invisible to them. They don't see red, they see a dull brown or gray instead. Don't let misconceptions about color make you think your dog doesn't care about their toy. It might simply be, they can't see it. What color toy have you given your dog before? Did it react differently to certain colors? But the fascinating part isn't just about color. It's also in how dogs' eyes work very differently from ours. Section 2. The structure of a dog's eye. Only two types of cone cells. If you saw the world through a dog's eyes, nearly half the colors would disappear. Human eyes have three types of color-detecting cone cells, corresponding to red, green, and blue. This allows us to perceive a wide spectrum of colors. But dogs are different. They only have two types of cone cells, meaning their color perception system works more like an old television, only capable of displaying blue and yellow, while everything else appears distorted or faded. For example, red looks like brown, pink appears gray, and green becomes a washed-out, almost lifeless hue. So don't blame your dog if it doesn't chase after the red ball you just threw to them. It might look like nothing more than a blur in the grass. Have you ever changed the color of your dog's toys or leash, and noticed a different reaction? Feel free to share. But here's the truly surprising part. Even though their color vision is limited, dogs can detect shades and movements that humans could never see. Section 3. Experiment proves dogs can distinguish colors. A dog can't talk, but it can still choose the right color, using its nose and brain. In a famous study, scientists presented dogs with three colored boards, two of the same color and one of a different color. They trained the dogs to pick the odd one out in order to receive a reward. The results were astonishing. Dogs consistently chose the correct board at a rate far beyond random guessing. This proves that dogs are capable of distinguishing hues, especially between blue and yellow. They don't just see, they learn to recognize and respond to colors, even though their color spectrum is more limited than ours. Don't underestimate a dog's visual intelligence. Just because it doesn't react like a human doesn't mean it can't see. What do you think about trying a color test with your own dog by placing food in two bowls of different colors? But there's another, lesser-known ability. Dogs can detect details almost invisible to the human eye. Section 4. Extraordinary ability to detect shades of gray. While you might see gray as just gray, dogs can distinguish dozens of different shades of gray. Because dogs have fewer cone cells than humans, their eyes compensate with a much higher number of rod cells, which specialize in detecting light and shadow. Thanks to this, dogs are incredibly sensitive to the slightest changes in shades of gray. In one experiment, researchers showed dogs a screen displaying blocks of gray that were very similar in tone. The result? Dogs accurately picked out the one that was different, even when the difference was barely noticeable. In other words, a dog's black and white world is anything but dull. It's rich with intricate detail in light and darkness. So don't assume your dog is just spacing out. When it stares at a gray wall, it might be seeing something you completely missed. Have you noticed your dog staring at walls, curtains, or patterned floors? It might not be random at all. And this ability to detect subtle gradations is part of what makes dogs ideal companions, especially for evening walks. Section 5. Tapetum lucidum, the magical, light-reflecting layer in a dog's eye. If your dog's eyes glow in the dark, it's not magic. It's actually biological technology. Dogs have a special layer in their eyes called the tapetum lucidum, located just behind the retina. This layer acts like a biological mirror, reflecting light that passes through the retina back into the eye, effectively doubling the amount of available light, especially in low light conditions like dusk or dawn. That's why dogs can see better than humans at night, and why their eyes often glow in photos taken in the dark. It's not spooky, it's just biology working really well. So if you're walking your dog at night, remember, You're with a creature that has a natural, infrared camera in its eyes. Have you ever captured a photo where your dog's eyes were glowing in the dark? Share that moment in the comments. But even though dogs can see well in the dark, their ability to see fine details might be weaker than you think. Section 6. Poor visual acuity. A dog's world is always a bit blurry. If you can clearly see an object from 20 meters away, a dog would have to move up to just 5 meters to see it as clearly as you do. A dog's visual acuity is only about 1/5 that of a human. That means what you see in crisp detail from a distance looks blurry and hazy to a dog, as if viewed through frosted glass. Think of the eye chart at the doctor's office. If you can read the 6th line clearly, a dog would only be able to read the very first one. Why? A dog's eyes aren't designed for fine detail, but rather to detect motion and light, abilities that help them survive and thrive in the wild. So if your dog doesn't run to you when you wave from afar, don't take it personally. It might just not recognize you yet. Have you ever called your dog from a distance and it hesitated before running over? Share your most recent experience. But what truly makes dogs remarkable is their ability to sense every bit of movement around them. Section 7. Motion sensitivity. A hunter's instinct still runs strong. You might see nothing, but your dog has already locked onto a target from afar, just because a single leaf moved. While dogs aren't great at seeing fine detail, they more than make up for it with ultra-sensitive motion detection. Even the slightest movement, no matter how small or far, is picked up by a dog's eyes faster than by human eyes. This is an inherited trait from their predatory ancestors, the ability to detect prey even when it barely twitches in the grass. And today, that instinct is still going strong. That's why dogs often react to a drifting leaf, a flash of bird wings, or a squirrel that hasn't even realized it should run. So if your dog suddenly bolts off, don't scold it right away. It's not panicking. It's just activating an ancient instinct. Has your dog ever reacted to something you couldn't see at all? What did you do in that moment? And here's another fascinating twist. Not all dogs see the same way. Different breeds have very different fields of vision. Section 8. Each dog breed has its own unique vision. Not all dogs see the world the same way. A dog's breed determines how it sees life itself. A dog's vision isn't uniform across breeds. It's actually customized based on what the breed was originally developed for. For example, greyhounds and Siberian huskies, bred for hunting and sled pulling, have excellent long-range vision and motion detection. In contrast, short-nosed breeds like pugs or bulldogs tend to be nearsighted and have a wider field of view at close range. Then there's the border collie, which is incredibly sensitive to movement, an ability that helps it control livestock with just a glance. Each breed is a unique, visual blueprint, perfectly reflecting the job it was bred to do for humans hundreds of years ago. If your dog is born nearsighted, don't get upset if it doesn't spot a toy from afar. Get closer. It's just waiting for you within its comfort zone. What breed is your dog? Do you think its visual traits affect how it plays or reacts to the world? Understanding the strengths and limitations of your dog's breed will help you choose the right games. Toys, lighting, and way to connect. Section 9. Tips for choosing the right toys and environment based on your dog's vision. A sparkling red ball to you might just be an invisible pebble to your dog. Because dogs can only see blue and yellow, you should choose toys in these two colors to better grab their attention. Also, if your dog belongs to a breed with poor near vision, like pugs or bulldogs, go for large, brightly colored toys and play in well-lit areas. On the other hand, if you have a breed like a retriever or husky, known for great long-distance vision, take advantage of far-throwing games like fetch or hide and seek. Instead of playing randomly, design activities around your dog's real vision. You'll be amazed at the difference in their excitement and engagement. The wrong color, wrong size, or wrong distance for a toy won't just bore your dog. It might even make you think they don't like playing. Have you ever bought a toy your dog completely ignored? What color was it? But hold on, beyond what our eyes can see, dogs can also detect something even more intriguing, flickering light that humans can't perceive. Section 10. Dogs are sensitive to flickering light and ultra-fast movement. You might not notice a flickering light, but your dog might find it seriously uncomfortable. Dogs process moving images extremely quickly. While the human eye perceives about 60 frames per second, dogs can detect up to 75 to 80 frames per second. That means they can see the flicker of old TVs, LED lights, or fluorescent bulbs, which to us appear as steady light. This is also why some dogs avoid looking at screens or turn their heads away from flickering LED lights, because to them, it's like a chaotic strobe light show happening right in front of their eyes. If you think your dog is being weird for avoiding the TV or certain lights, it could simply be sensory overload for their eyes. Have you ever noticed your dog reacting strangely when you turn on the lights or the TV? Share what happened. And it doesn't stop at light. Dogs can recognize you not by your face, but by your unique walk and body movement. Section 11. Dogs don't recognize your face, they recognize your walk. You might think your dog knows you by your face, but what it remembers best is the way you walk. Because of their blurry vision and poor detail recognition, dogs don't see you by facial features. Instead, they identify you through your overall body movement. The way you walk, the tilt of your shoulders, your stride length, all of it forms a unique, visual signature that your dog learns over time. That's why many dogs can recognize their owners from a distance, even if they're wearing a hat, sunglasses, or completely different clothes. So don't be surprised if someone dressed like you doesn't get a tail wag to your dog. You're not your face, you're that familiar motion. Has your dog ever mistaken someone for you? Or ever run excitedly toward you from afar just by recognizing your walk? But those eyes aren't always healthy, because there are congenital conditions silently stealing away their vision. Section 12. Common eye diseases in dogs that often go unnoticed. Your dog might be going blind, and you wouldn't even realize it until it's too late. Many dog breeds are prone to genetic or age-related eye conditions. But the signs are often subtle. Some of the most common diseases include cataracts. The eyes appear cloudy. Dogs bump into things, or move more slowly. Progressive retinal atrophy, PRA, causes gradual loss of night vision, followed by daytime vision. Retinal dysplasia. Common in puppies, the retina doesn't develop properly, leading to permanent blurred vision. What's alarming is that many people think their dog is just being slow or lazy, when in fact, it's losing its sight. Routine eye checkups are rarely done for dogs, but they're incredibly important, especially for breeds at higher risk like Labradors, Cocker Spaniels, or Huskies. Don't wait until the day you realize that those loving eyes can no longer see you. Have you ever noticed your dog slowing down or hesitating in dark areas? That could be an early warning sign. And believe it or not, nowadays, some dogs even wear custom protective goggles to help safeguard those precious eyes. Section 13. Dog goggles are real, and the reason behind the trend is more than just style. You might think dog goggles are just for cute photos, but the truth is much more serious. Today, many dogs, especially police dogs, military working dogs, or dogs with eye conditions, are equipped with specialized eyewear. These goggles don't just look cool, they protect a dog's eyes from UV rays, reduce damage from dust, strong wind, or intense sunlight during outdoor tasks. There are even specially designed lenses for dogs with cataracts. They filter light, making it easier for the dog to move around in bright environments. Brands like Doggles are commonly recommended by veterinarians for specific medical or protective purposes. Those eyes deserve protection, not because dogs are fragile, but because they're still looking at the world for you. Have you ever seen a dog wearing goggles? Do you think your pup would rock a pair of stylish specs? And in the end, maybe what matters most isn't how clearly they see colors or shapes, but how they see us with all their heart. Now you know, dogs don't see the world the way we do. But the way they look at you is never mistaken. To them, you are always the clearest image, no matter how blurry the rest of the world may seem. In the next video, I'll share 8 unintentional behaviors that might hurt your dog's feelings, and how to make things right before it's too late. How does your dog usually look at you? I'd love to hear about it. If this video helped you understand your dog a little better, stick around, there's so much more waiting for you ahead.